So this is the lesson for Friday, March 3rd. It's lesson 6C out of your textbook, and we're going to talk about the normal distribution. So what is a normal distribution? It is a symmetric bell-shaped distribution with a single peak. Its peak corresponds to the mean, median, and mode of the distribution. Its variation is characterized by the standard deviation of the distribution. What does that mean? We're going to talk about that. So when we talk about this 68, 95, 99.7 rule, what are we really saying? What we're saying, and there's a visual aid here you can see, that from the average, 68% of the data is going to always fall within one standard deviation of that. So I'll go ahead and highlight that in bright pink. So we're saying 68% will fall within one standard deviation. And then if we move outward and we include two standard deviations, now we're talking about 95% of our data. And if we say three standard deviations, you can be three standard deviations away from the average. Now you're looking at almost all the data, or 99.7% of the data. So let's do a couple problems. So let's take a look at an example. A math test was given to 100 students. The average score was 78, and the standard deviation was 5. And the first thing they ask you is how many students scored between 73 and 83 on the test. So those numbers, as you can see, I've done a little bit of math there, they are each within one standard deviation of our mean. So the 73 is obviously one deviation below, and 83 is one standard deviation above. So where are we looking on our graph? Well, if you look, this darkest green area, and I'm shading over it again in pink, that would be the values or the amount that is it within one standard deviation. And we know, of course I shaded over it, that that's 68%, right? So when they say how many students scored between 73 and 83, well, we know 68% of them did. Now as a decimal, of course, 68 is going to be 0.68. And then if we multiply that by the number of students who took the test, which is 100, obviously we just get 68 there. And so that would be your final answer. And that's how you would use your normal curve to answer that question. So I strongly recommend you memorize the numbers 68, 95, and 99.7, and you get real comfortable just doing a quick little sketch of what the normal curve looks like there, okay? And each one of those numbers takes you further out. 68 is one standard deviation, 95 is 2, and 99.7 would be 3. The next thing they ask you is how many students scored above 88. Now we have to be a little bit more careful here. We want to be above 88. Well, let's see, 88 minus 78, that would be 10, right? And so that would be 2 standard deviations above. And so what that tells me is I want the area, at where 2 standard deviations starts and to go up from there, right? Now, the thing about it is finding that area that I've shaded in blue, it's going to be easier to actually look at both sides. I know we don't want both sides, but let's just look at both sides. Because what we know is that the total area under the curve is 100. And if I subtract out that middle piece, the numbers that are only one standard deviation away, then I will get what's left in blue. In other words, I'm going to take 100% and subtract out the 68%. Those are the numbers that fell within one standard deviation, and that leaves me with 32% of my data that falls outside of one standard deviation. In other words, it's either 2, 3, or more, right? So that means 32% is what I have shaded in blue on the right and on the left. Because I only want what's to the right, let me highlight that one more time or shade that in even a little darker. I only want the right side, but those sides are symmetric. So what I can do is just take that 32%, and I only want half of it, so I'll divide by 2 and say 16% of the students scored above 88. And since there were 100 students, 0.16, which is our 16% as a decimal, times 100 would give me the final answer of 16 students who scored above an 88 on the test. So let's look at a couple more examples. So here's a very general question. They're talking about SAT scores, and they tell you that the test is designed so that the scores will be normally distributed, and the mean would be 500. So like right here would be my average score. And then you have a standard deviation of 100. So that means that 68% of the students would fall in this area right here, right? And so what could their scores be? Well, the average is 500, but I know that I could either add 100, because that's my standard deviation, so 600, and then my lower would be 400. So I would say that 68% of the students who take the test, dropped a zero on my 600, would score between a 400 and a 600. So that's how you would sort of generally use that idea of 68% being one standard deviation. And then if you were talking about two standard deviations, well, now I would include, so let me just pick a different color here now. I would be going out all the way to 95%. And so two standard deviations, 95% of our data. So if it was two standard deviations, the scores could be anywhere from 300 to 700. So that's the idea there. And then if you looked at three standard deviations, now you'd be adding and subtracting another 100. So you would go anywhere from 200 to 900, and that would be almost everybody that takes the test. In other words, that would be a 99.7% of students taking the test. So here's a more specific question that we can look at. They tell you that the vending machines in this country will reject coins that are above or below a certain weight. And so quarters in this country have an average weight of 5.67 grams and a standard deviation of 0.07 grams. And so they want us to calculate how many coins would be rejected if the vending machine rejects anything that weighs more than 5.8 grams and less than 5.53 grams. So what I want to do here is I want to know how many standard deviations out am I. You could do this in your calculator. I just did it by hand, you can see. So I just kept subtracting or adding that 0.07 until I got to the numbers they gave me in the problem. And I see that I have to add or subtract twice that standard deviation to get the numbers that would be rejected by the machine. So basically, I'm looking at anything outside of two standard deviations is what's going to get rejected. So and I'm going to shade, so anything to the right of two standard deviations or to the left of two standard deviations, that's what's going to get rejected. So what I can say is that what I'm going to keep then is actually 95% of the data, because that's what's in the middle there. Let me shade that in blue. So there's two ways to think about this, but basically you can say this is what I'm keeping, the 95%, or what's shaded in red is what I'm not going to keep, which would be the 100 minus 95%. So, and that's most likely what you would do on the test is you'd go, okay, well, I get to keep 95% of the coins. So I'm just going to take 100 and subtract out from that the 95% that are good to go. And that leaves me with 5% of the coins being rejected. So here's another question concerning exam scores. You have 1,000 students taking a test, and the average score was a 75. If it helps you, you can always mark that on your diagram. So I'll go ahead and put a 75 in the middle there. And then they want you to determine how many students scored above 82. So the first thing you want to think about is how many standard deviations is that above my average. And hopefully you see that 82 minus 75 is indeed 7. So we're looking at one standard deviation above the average. And so that really means that all I want is what I'm shading to the right here. Okay, and you could do that, but it's a little bit easier, I think, when you go to do the math to just go ahead and shade both sides. We don't want both sides. But what we can do then is we can say, okay, the amount that isn't shaded is that first standard deviation or one standard deviation, which is 68%. So if I take 100 and I subtract from that 100 what I don't want, which is the 68, again, that leaves me with my 32%. Now, I don't want all of that. I only want the upper half. So I take that 32% and divide by 2, and that's going to give me 16%. And now I'm going to take that 16%, convert it to a decimal, 0.16. I'm going to multiply that by the number of students who took the test. And you can use your calculator, but you should get 160 there. So that would be the answer to the first one. And then the second question asks us how many students scored below a 61. So for that one, what we'll do is we'll look at the difference between our average 75 and 61, and easier to think of it as 75 minus 61, which of course is 14. And that tells me I've got 2 standard deviations away from the average, right? So now what I'm going to do, I want to be 2 standard deviations out. So I'm going to erase. Oh, it won't let me erase. That's a sad story. I'm going to shade over just where we're 2 standard deviations away. And I can see then that what I don't want is the 95%. So I can say 100% minus the 95% leaves me with 5%. But I also know that I only want half of that because I really only want the blue area to the left. So if I take 5 and divide it by 2, obviously I get 2.5%. And then as a decimal, that's going to be 0.025. And if I multiply that by 1,000, I'm going to get 25 students there. So that would be the final answer for part B. Okay, so last example, the survey found that the prices paid for 2-year-old Ford Fusion cars are normally distributed, and the average is $17,500. So I'm going to put that right here. $17,500 is my average, and I have a standard deviation of $500. If 10,000 people bought the car, let's see if we can answer some questions. How many people paid between $17,000 and $18,000? Well, that's just going to be one standard deviation, right? Because we're just going up or down 500 there. So 68% of the people paid that in that range. Well, so to know how many people, obviously, I would take that 0.68 and multiply it by 10,000. And I believe you will find if you do that, that you get 6,800 people. And then for the second question, they said, how many people paid less than 17,000? So now what we want, I'll shade it in blue here, less than 17,000, that's going to be 2 standard deviations. So we want this side of the curve. But what we'll do is we'll find all of it, anybody that's outside of 2 standard deviations or more away, and that would be 100 minus 68, which hopefully you remember is your 32%. But then we only want half of that, so we'll divide by 2 and say 16%. And then if we take 0.16 and we multiply that by 10,000, we are going to get 1,600 people that paid less than 17,000, so the lower side of 2 standard deviations. And then how many people paid more than 19,000? Well, now we want people that are 3 standard deviations above, so this bright pink area. But again, what I can do there is I can look at both sides. So both sides would be 100 minus that 99.7, which leaves me with 0.3%. But again, I only want half of that because I only want the upper half. So that's going to give me 0.15%. And that's 0.0015 as a decimal. If I multiply that by 10,000, I will get 15 people who had the misfortune of paying more than $19,000 for their 2-year-old Ford Fusion. Good luck with the assignment. Let me know if you need help.